Matt, a quite astonishing game of football, but we've come out with the win in the end. I don't really know where to start.
Right, you're absolutely right. Let's just talk about the end, shall we? Because everything which probably went before that was madness. We were a yard short, let's be honest. I could see it in them, and you're damned if you do, damned if you don't in terms of making changes. There was a few lifeless bodies out there in the first half. Probably from the exertion of the last week, but also then a couple not quite at the races in terms of the pace of the game. But somehow we found a way to be close enough to make a difference towards the end of the game. I must admit, at 3-1, I didn't see any heads drop. We stuck to task, and there was some positive contributions in terms of attitude tonight. I thought Pearce Sweeney, the way he led the team and kept his intent throughout when there was no control in the game whatsoever. He was a constant in relation to control, so I have to single him out in terms of the way he approached that 90 plus minutes of football. We feel we've got enough quality to hurt the opposition, but they did hurt us tonight, and they could have scored more goals as well. So it was utter madness. I don't quite know how to sum it up, to be honest with you.
Let's get the negatives out of the way, because there's lots of positives to talk about. An uncharacteristic defensive display in the first half.
We just, like I say, a bit lifeless. You know, a yard off it all over the pitch turns into a big area you've got to cover, and they were better and they were brighter. But having said that, the physical exertion that they had in the first half showed in the second half, because they were out on their feet. If anyone wants to know what League Two football is all about, two teams who've played 3 games in the last how many days, and then to put a game on like that. They were out on their feet. Paige is cramping up in front of me, and they've got bodies on the floor as well. And I hope tonight hasn't come at a price or a cost in relation to the injuries and the fatigue we've picked up. I don't know how Sam Nombe played 90 minutes. He was meant to play an hour. But obviously, in terms of the change after 20 plus minutes, and then the one at half time, and then unfortunately stubs his shoulder. So as pleased as I am with the 3 points, I just hope it's not took its toll.
Obviously, you said it's his shoulder there. We obviously lost Kieran Phillips before the game, Carrie Kite on Saturday, and obviously we finished the game without Czech Diabate.
Let's be honest,
well.
Everyone's been talking about the strength of our squad. You lose, I think he'd be free tonight, obviously for not a substantial period of time, but we'll have to find out in relation to that. And some looked like they needed to be taken out the firing line, but you only found that out after 10 or 15 minutes of the game. And let's be honest, we kept a clean sheet at Bradford at the weekend, and we had a razor sharp mentality and physicality that weekend. We just didn't have that to start the game, and it's a real lesson in terms of some of those players tonight and to myself. But like I say, if you make a whole host of changes when you win a game 1-0, you get slaughtered, because we might well have been off the pace in relation to the players who've come into the fold. But they just stuck to task, and I'm so pleased Jacko's come up with that moment at the end, because there was still uncertainty in his game throughout, but hopefully that will settle into a bit of a rhythm. Is
this another game that you think perhaps 6 months ago we may have drawn or lost?
I don't know. This team's got something. People talk about the team spirit and the characteristic, and it's got something which you just want to believe in. Maybe it's the endeavour or the way that the players act and the way they conduct themselves. It's got something which you just want to keep believing in. And look, let's be honest, there's performances where we're nowhere near it, but we're still trying, and we're still trying our hardest, and no one's not trying, and everyone's together, and we'll lose together, we win together, we go 3-1 down together, and we win 4-3 together. So in terms of where we are stood here right now, it's an incredible moment, because there were times in that evening where I'm thinking this could be a cricket score to the opposition.
And obviously the goals have been shared about a bit as well. Groundsy with his first, Sparksy, and then Tim Dieng, of course. You know how much we talk about him.
Yeah, well, first off, Giovanni. That's an important penalty, because that just gives us something to keep believing in. And actually, we had a few chances towards the end of that first half. We had to change shape. I had to do something to try and stop the rot, so to speak. And we actually created a few chances, so that gave us more belief going into the second half. Obviously, you feel the third goal might be a bit of a killer, but you could see how much effort the opposition had put in. And I don't think we were getting stronger physically. We were just staying where we needed to be, and they were out on their feet. And then it needs a little bit of quality and balls in certain areas, and the Groundsy one's a scruffy one. I think the Tim Dieng goals is a really good goal in terms of creating on the outside of the pitch and putting the ball in an area, and no one better meeting the ball in the box with his head than Tim. And then Jacko a bit of space towards the end. It was actually a poor first touch which bobbled in front of him, which meant he had to chop the defender, and his outside of foot scoop rather than his right foot. Incredible moment.
I'm just trying to relive it in my mind myself. I mean, you look at the way that the game went. You said yourself, you were thinking it could have been a cricket score. What did you say to the lads at half time?
They didn't need me to be any harder on them, let's be honest. Some of the fans were hard on them in the first half, and rightly so. got every right to voice their opinion, but understand what this group's going through. I said last week about Kenny Jackett's interview. Derek Adams has lost his job with an experienced team and a team of men. We've still got young boys out there finding their feet and learning the game. And like I say, there was some lifeless bodies out there to start with, and now it's down to me to try and assess when that's going to happen. Obviously, I didn't quite do that well enough in relation to starting the game tonight, and we'll look at formations and personnel to try and stop that happening in the future. But sometimes you've just got to go with the ride, and we certainly did that tonight.
Something we said on Saturday is we don't get too low when we lose, too high when we win, but I think we can enjoy this one for certainly tonight and tomorrow.
4 wins on the bounce. 4 wins on the bounce. All fine margins, all could have gone different ways. We've rode our luck. We've added quality, but there's like we speak about, there's something in this team which wants you to keep believing in it. And even if we're 3-0 down, 4-0 down, 5-0, I don't care. The fans need to stick with us as long as they possibly can, because we're far from perfect, but no one's perfect.
And I think, you're putting a pitch in for the new host of the Late Late Show. That's 93 last week and 95 today, I think. Never say die at the moment.
The belief, the fitness, the effect we can have off the bench, let's be honest, I can't take credit for any of that tonight, because I think it was the right thing to do to go to a back four in the first half just to keep us in the game. And then in terms of the enforced changes, Nigel's never going to play 90 minutes, so we wanted Tim on the pitch relatively early, and then Stubbs his shoulder goal. So it was a shame, because I wanted Podge on the pitch, I wanted Carl Taylor, I wanted Josh Key on the pitch. Fortunately, it's not the FA Cup where you can make as many substitutions as you want.
And I guess in similar circumstances to Saturday, your hand was forced in terms of the substitutions.
Yeah, and it wasn't ideal going into the game. Let's be honest, we didn't expect to lose Kieran after the game Saturday. We only found out Sunday, Monday in terms of the swelling on his knee, and Harry Kite more long term in terms of that groin. But you can never quite expect what happens in football, but also the way we started the game. Sometimes when your body's not quite there, your mind's got to somehow find a way to get yourself through it, and we didn't do that to start the game, certainly not in terms of the first 25-30 minutes of football, and we got hurt off the back of it. But like I keep saying, there's just something I want to keep believing in with this team, and we need the fans to keep on doing that, and I'm sure Saturday will be exactly the same. It won't be pretty, it won't be perfect, it'll be riddled with mistakes, absolutely full of them, but there'll be an endeavour and a will that we want to be successful.
Jake Caprice had a brilliant game today, I thought, and also I think we've seen this season why you've offered him a new 2-year deal. Yeah,
really pleased with Jake, really pleased. On his more conventional side, on the right side, good balance. I mean, the only positive from tonight, really, apart from the 3 points, is that we've got to look after Josh Key. He's had a tight hamstring now for a couple of weeks, and we keep on putting him out, and we know what happened in relation to Joe Randall last year, not just in terms of the value and the asset, but in terms of the availability. And I can't afford to lose key players. You saw it with Tim Diang tonight, so we'll assess them again going into the weekend, but that's a really positive couple of days for Jake Caprice, and the contract is nothing other than a reward for his performances and his effort.
Obviously, another home game on Saturday, which I'm not sure will top this one, but let's see.
Well, Dan Green's just said to me, have you ever seen a game like that? I can't quite remember it in terms of my tenure. I can remember the 3-0 down against Yeovil and getting back to 3-3, and I've probably played in a few games which weren't too dissimilar, but sometimes you're powerless on the touchline, and you've just got to sort of take a step back and just watch it unfold in front of your eyes, and you can't really affect it, and you've got to, I suppose, trust the players like we did. Josh Coley, positive impact again, and like I said, it was just something which made us believe that the game had something left in it, and it did.